and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that absolutely opposes the Superhero Registration Act, but is not above being bribed, in which case we'd be happy to change our vote and put all of those freaks behind lock and key. My name is Cody. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the Superhero Registration Act, why don't we go ahead and take a look at Captain America 75th Anniversary, an expansion for Legendary, the Marvel deck-building game from Upper Deck. Well, this new Captain America expansion for Legendary brings a few new rules and some pretty cool new cards to your game of Legendary. Now, if you've seen the show, you know I've reviewed several expansions. You want to see how to play the game, go back to see Season 1, Episode 5 of The Discriminating Gamer, where we talk about how you play the game of Legendary. Here I'm just going to talk about this particular expansion and what it brings to your game. One of the things this new expansion brings to your game is a keyword called Savior. Now, how Savior works is if you have rescued 3 bystanders. You have 3 bystanders in your victory pile. If you've got 3 bystanders in there, you are a Savior. That may allow you to do special things. It may give you more attack abilities, or it may allow you to draw a card. But if you have 3 bystanders in there, you are a Savior, and you get special benefits at certain times in the game. Now, also, too, you have the Man Out of Time keyword. Now, what Man Out of Time means is if you play the card, you can then set it aside instead of putting it in your discard pile. Then, at the beginning of the next turn, you can essentially act like that card's already been played. You get all the benefits. You get any of the, abilities, and you may get any of the hero affiliations and classes that are associated with that card that trigger with your new hand, but then you discard that card. So it's just kind of like this quick one-off. You get it after it's already been played. So that's kind of a nice thing that happens there. They can really make your hand a little bit more powerful. You also have something called Abomination. Now, what Abomination does is, as the villains are moving along the city, their strength is essentially equal to or additional to whatever strength is on the card beneath them. So if they're a 5+ and the hero card beneath them has 2 slash marks, then their strength is actually 7. So they can be very difficult depending on what the cards are below them, and it's going to change as they move along the deck. Now, one of the masterminds in this particular set, this mastermind is named Armin Zola. Armin Zola essentially is going to be able to have this mega abomination ability, in which case you add up all of the heroes in the HQ, all of their strength, and then that kind of adds on to whatever his is. So that can be very, very difficult to take him down at times. The other mastermind that comes in the set is Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo is pretty powerful, and he also is going to use Savior. You can get advantages. If you're a Savior, it becomes easier to defeat Baron Zemo. There's 4 new schemes in this game as well. First of all, there is Go Back in Time to Slay Heroes' Ancestors, which is pretty cool. You've also got Brainwash the Military. You've got the Unbreakable Enigma Code, again, kind of harkening back to World War II. And then it's got probably my favorite scheme card in this new deck, Change the Outcome of World War II. So I want to talk about this one a little bit because I think it's so cool. Essentially, when you draw the new Scheme Twist cards, you invade a new country. Or a new country, rather, is invaded by the Axis powers. And you use that scheme, the scheme card, to essentially limit the spaces of the city. So instead of the full 5 spaces of the city, you will have maybe, was it like 3 if you invade, a smaller country like Poland or France. And then it's like really big when you invade Russia. It's like 6. And I think it's like 5 when you invade the United States. So the length of that depends on which country you're in. Now, if any of the villains escape from that particular country, they've conquered a capital. If your enemy conquers 3 capitals, you lose the game. You've also got the Masters of Evil World War II villains. They fight with Baron Zemo. And then, of course, you've got Zola's Creations, which are kind of mutants and weirdos that fight for the Zola Mastermind. That's where you're going to see a lot of the Abomination cards come in. But now, here's what you've all been waiting for, the heroes of this deck, the Captain American heroes that actually play in this particular expansion. First of all, you've got Agent X-13. Agent X-13 is a woman. So instead of Man Out of Time, she has Woman Out of Time, which is the same thing, except it's got a WO in front of the man. Agent X13 has some pretty cool cards. For instance, she has the Paramilitary Ops. You get +1 for each other shield hero you played this turn that costs 1 or more. So with a base of 2 strength, if you play a lot of those shield agents that are more than 1, you can really add her strength up quite a bit. You've got Captain America 1941. Captain America 1941 is cool. His artwork is actually this kind of golden age or silver. I don't know what the ages are, but this kind of very old comic book, World War II era comic book art, which is really cool. Some of Captain America 1941's cards include Liberate the Prisoners, which if played with another Avenger allows him to rescue a bystander. If he's a savior, it also allows him to draw a card. You've also got Storm the Beachhead, which gives him a +1 attack for each other hero class that you have played. You've also got Captain America Falcon. Now, I don't know a whole lot about the comic books, but apparently Falcon becomes Captain America for a time as well. And he's got some crazy cards. Flying Shield Block's pretty cool. If a player's going to gain a wound, they can play this card. They can block the wound, not take the wound, and also they can gain a bystander. Star Spangled Hero essentially gives him +2 attack for each hero class and +2 recruit for each hero class you're playing. You've got Steve Rogers, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. One of his cards is the International Strike Force. Again, you get +1 recruit for each hero class you have, and if you're a savior, you get +1 attack for each hero class you have. You've also got Save the World. Save the World gives you 4 attack, but it also lets you rescue a bystander. If you're a savior, you get an additional +3 attack. And finally, we have the Winter Soldier, or as I like to call him, the Vintner Soldier. Because he likes wine, I don't know. KGB Training's pretty cool. Now, you already get 3 attack, but if you played up to 7 other cards that turn, you get an additional +2 attack. His coolest and most expensive card is 2 is greater than 4. Now, what is happening with this card is it essentially allows him to make any other card in your hand a Man Out of Time card. So any other card, no matter how powerful, can be set aside and played again at the beginning of the next turn. There's even, if you get another text symbol, you can do that to 2 other cards. So that is really, really cool. So that is just some of the new cards you're getting with this new set, this new expansion. I've said this 100 times whenever I review a Legendary game. This is just more of a good thing. This is more fun stuff. I really like these new abilities. I think Savior's cool. I think it works really well with this set. I think you could probably integrate it pretty well with some of the other sets, although there's a lot of ways to get bystanders in this set that kind of really helps that. The Man Out of Time stuff is really fun because you're always kind of looking, how can I use this card twice? How can I double my ability to use it both this turn and my next turn? So that's cool. Just make sure you set it aside so you don't put it in your discard pile like I did a few times. But it's really a cool ability, new keyword. I think the scenarios are fun. That alternate World War II, the change the outcome of World War II is really fun. A big World War II history buff, and it was fun and interesting. And of course, it's very abstract, but it's just fun. The theme of it's just fun. Villains are good. The Masterminds are good. Really, really, really like this set. And if you're somebody that likes Marvel Legendary, you are going to really, really like this set. You know, I was thinking about this, and I was tempted to say this is probably my favorite of the small box expansions for Legendary. But then, of course, I'm thinking about the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm thinking about Paint the Town Red. Even Fantastic Four. I'm thinking about all these other little box expansions, and they're all freaking awesome. I really like them all. So the recommendation for the discriminating gamer for this Captain America 75th anniversary is buy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and you know, I kind of wonder, after the U.S.-Canadian Anschluss, will we refer to him as Captain America?
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
My nephew told me that one, and I thought that was stupid at first, but then I got it.